Rich People Problems by Kevin Kwan. Bettina Ortiz y Mena was not accustomed to waiting. A former Miss Venezuela and Miss Universe runner-up was these days the wife of Miami auto parts tycoon Herman Ortiz y Mena. And at every restaurant she chose to grace with her presence, she was always greeted with reverence and reached to the exact table she desired. Today, she wanted a corner table on the terrace of Sip Sip, her favorite lunch spot on Harbor Island. She wanted to sit on one of the comfy orange canvas director's chairs and stare out the gently lapping turquoise water while eating her kale Caesar salad. But there was a large, noisy group taking up the entire terrace, and they didn't seem in much hurry to leave. Bettina fumed as she glared at the tourists happily savoring their lunch in the sun. Looking how tacky they were, the women overly tanned, wrinkled, and soggy, none of them properly lifted and buttocks. She felt like walking up to their table and handing out her dermatologist business cards. Feeling that she had been patient long enough, Bettina stormed into the kitchen, the fringe under her crochet tuxie kaftan top shaking furiously as she made a beeline for the woman with the shocked pixie cut blonde hair manning the main stove.
Julie, honey, what's the diallo? I've waited more than 15 minutes for my table.
Bettina sighed to the owner of the restaurant. Sorry, Bettina, it's been one of those days. The party of 12 on the terrace showed up first, just before you did. Julie replied as she handed off a bowl of spicy conch chili to a waiting server.
But the terrace is your prime spot. Why on earth did you let those tourists take up all that space?
Well, the tourist in the red fishing cap is the Duke of Glencora. His party just boated over the windmere. That's his Royal Husman you see moored off the coast. Isn't it the most handsome sailboat you've ever seen? I'm not impressed by big boats. Bettina huffled, although secretly she was rather impressed by people with big title. From the kitchen window, she surveyed the party assembled on the terrace with new eyes. These aristo-British types were such a strange breed. Sure, they had their Savile Row suits and their Herborn tie-ryes, but when they traveled, they looked so painfully frumpy. I assume that's the Duke's security detail. They couldn't be more obvious. Don't they know that we're all billionaires here on Bryland, and this is not how we roll? Bettina thoughted. Actually, those bodyguards belong to the Duke's special guests. They did a whole sweep of the restaurant before the party arrived. They even searched my walk-in freezer. See the Chinese fellow seated at the end of the table? Bettina squinted through her dire X-Day sunglasses at the portly, balding, 70-something Asian man dressed in nondescript white shirt, sleeve gold shirt, and gray trouser. Oh, I didn't even notice him. Am I supposed to know who he is? That's Alfred Shang, Julie said in a hushed tone. Bettina giggled. He looks like their cover. Doesn't he look like that guy that used to drive Jane Wayman around in Falcon Crest? Julie, who was trying to focus on searing a cut of tuna to perfection, shook her head a tight-lipped smile. From what I hear, that chauffeur is the most powerful man in Asia. What's his name again? The end of the story.